In a sport so fast-paced and brutal as mixed martial arts, it's surprisingly easy for fighters to just up and quit when the going gets tough. With just a simple tap on the shoulder, a fighter can save themselves from an onslaught of strikes or an arm-breaking submission. But sometimes, fighters choose to be kinder and do not destroy their opponent. So let's see these 6 times that UFC fighters refuse to hit their opponent. Number 6. Mike Pantenko. A few years ago, the PCFL held an event in which one Mike Pantenko faced off against Jeremy Razor. Pantenko rocked his opponent in the fight. The brawl continued. Razor began stumbling on the mat, seemingly unable to intelligently continue the match. However, the referee did not put a stop to the fight. After a few moments of standing with his opponent, Pantenko decided to stop the fight himself, but the fighter tapped out instead of bringing further harm to his opponent. Now, fights arguably extending past their due is nothing new to the sport of mixed martial arts. However, it is unfortunate when a referee cannot see the damage dealt and a fighter that is severe. The video has been blowing up on social media, and Pantenko has generally been praised for his sportsmanship and mercy. Immediately after the fight, when asked why he did what he did, he responded, "I just feel that there's no point in fighting him because he didn't train against me and I didn't train for him, and I feel like we're amateur fighters. We don't get money, we don't get paid. And I know that the only thing I'm going to finish the fight is to him to go in the hospital or get hurt. I just feel terrible, so I'm just going to give him the win. After all, mixed martial arts is a sport that has rules, dangers, and regulations. There are referees and doctors in the fight to prevent serious injury to the fighters, but Pantenko decided that it was all his job to decide when to stop." Number 5. Ray Sefo. It's a moment that stands still in time. Ray Sefo and Mark Hunt, 2 famed Auckland brawlers, slugging it out with Japanese fans, engrossed and stunned in equal measures. At one point, Hunt drops his guard completely, sticking out his chin to let Sefo unload a flurry of ferocious, uncontested blows. Sefo responds by kissing Hunt on the cheek, a sign of respect for withstanding the punishment. That occasion, with the grandeur and gladiatorial setting the K1 arena provided, put Polynesian combat fighters on the map. By the time Mark arrived in K1, I was already seated in the top 8 world-class fighters, so they knew what Polynesian fighters were capable of doing. They knew Polynesians had this mentality of kill or be killed in the ring or the cage, but they had never seen 2 Polynesians squaring off against each other, and I think that opened their eyes and the world at large to what that meant. The world got to see what we were capable of doing, Sefo said.
Ray Sefo all smiles in centre ring.
Ray Sefo is not fighting his fight. He's got to move against...
Number 4. Willis Meehan. Boxers are renowned for their killer instinct, with compassion a rare commodity in the ring. But Aussie-based boxer Willis Meehan showed a rare sign of empathy for an opponent when he pleaded with the referee to stop his fight as he pounded Kiwi rival Limi Tato into submission during their bout. Taking on Tato in New Zealand, Meehan proved a cut above the 41-year-old as he dominated him from the opening exchanges of their 8-round fight. The former Sydney Roosters rugby league player continuously unloaded powerful blows on the brave Kiwi. But with Tato continuing to stand and taking the punishment as he was hammered against the ropes, Meehan did the unthinkable. He stopped punching and pleaded with the referee to stop the fight. The call came just as the official moved in to do just that, but showed Meehan's sportsmanship. Meehan stopped throwing punches and screamed at the referee, imploring him to stop the fight, which he eventually did. Whether you think it was bravery, stupidity, or stubbornness, give Tato his credit for standing and taking that punishment for that long. Also, give credit to Meehan for putting his foot down. And shame on the referee and the fight organizers though, because it should have never have come to that. Number 3. Chad George. Chad George once had to tell the referee that his opponent was unconscious and unable to continue their fight. The incident occurred at Bellator 136 back in 2015, and George was facing off with Mark Villegas. George had his opponent beaten and was on top of him while he was out of it. Referee Milan Ayers failed to spot that Villegas was out, and George had to take matters into his own hands. George can be heard shouting, "He's out," while the referee retorts back saying, "He's not." The 37-year-old decided to take matters into his own hands and get up and walk away from his downed opponent. Ayers then went to check on Villegas and ruled George the winner. It is a great show of sportsmanship from George in his Bellator debut, as he could have stayed on top of his opponent and continued to punish him. Questions could have been asked of the referee not identifying that he was knocked out on the ground. Referees are supposed to protect the fighters from injury, and it's clear that a serious injury could have occurred. When George discussed the incident with MMA Mix, he said that he had to make a judgment call. It was one of those things where I had to make that judgment call. I felt that he had gone unconscious, and for me, my job as a fighter is to go out there and win. Savage also explained his mindset when stepping into the octagon and said he wants to win by hurting his opponent as little as possible. But if I can go out there and win by hurting my opponent as little as possible, then that's what I'm gonna do. To go in there and get the W and come home to my family and get back into the gym as quickly as possible is really all I want to do. Number 2, Sean O'Malley. This next fight is from UFC 250 between Sean O'Malley and Eddie Wineland. Sean O'Malley entered the octagon looking like someone morphed Tekashi 6ix9ine with hip-hop legend Bizzy Bone, and he delivered the most definitive KO victory of the night. O'Malley destroyed Eddie Wineland with a one-punch KO in the first round. He stood straight as he watched Wineland fall to the canvas. Seeing that Wineland was not getting up and showing any signs of movement, the game was over, and O'Malley was being so proud of himself. I'll say it again, I think I have the best striking in MMA, a confident Sean O'Malley said post-fight. I'll continue to do this throughout my career. The win over Wineland was O'Malley's most impressive victory to date. Quirky, dangerous striker. However, at no time during the first 2 minutes of the fight did Wineland present himself as much of a threat. Number 1, Justin Gaethje. The man they call the Highlight lived up to his nickname once again as he set another UFC fight night off with a bang. To the crowd's delight, Justin Gaethje took out Donald Cerrone in the first round of the main event at Vancouver's Rogers Arena. Although Cerrone landed some decent jabs earlier in the round, Gaethje's devastating leg kicks and uppercuts quickly set his veteran opponent back too far. A huge right hand soon sunk Cerrone to the ground. Gaethje continued pummeling until the referee finally called time on what will be remembered as a short and brutal fight. Gaethje appeared annoyed that the referee did not choose to end the fight even sooner. He glanced incredulously at the ref while landing punch after punch on the clearly defeated Cerrone, imploring him to put the battered 36-year-old out of his misery. When the official finally decided to end the fight, Highlight gave him one last glare before climbing onto the rim of the octagon to celebrate with his fans. With Cerrone's arm around him, Gaethje clarified after the fight that he had found it difficult to fight against someone whom he considers a friend, but he will no doubt consider this win to be one of the biggest of his career thus far, and not just because it earned him yet another performance night of the bonus of $50,000. Do you think these fighters were too kind not to hit their opponents? And who is your favorite UFC fighter? Let us know in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on your post notifications so you never miss a video from us. If you liked the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. See you in the next video, and thank you for watching.